Yes, aparokshanubhuti, correct. 4th or 5th verse, right? 4th verse. Very good. Today after class I'll be seeing people. If anybody wants to come, you can come to the Swami room there. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. 5th verse onwards. Ajnanam tasya moolam syat iti tadhanamishyate brahma vidyata arabdha tato nishreyasam bhavet vidyaiva jnanahanaya na karma pratikulatah Najnanasya prahanehi ragadveshakshayo bhavet ragadveshakshaya bhave karma doshodbhavam dhruvam tasmin nishreyasarthaya vidyaivaatra vidhiyate. 5, 6 and 7. They are making a pitch for Jnanam. Adi Shankara is talking about why and how Atma Jnanam alone can cut down this samsara. The samsara tree. Same thing we see in the Bhagavad Gita as well. I don't want to chant that because people will feel hungry afterwards. The mealtime chant. Asanga shastrena dhridena chitva. Asanga shastra. The shastra here is the shastra, really. So the shastra cuts down that which cuts down the samsara tree. So samsara can be like a family tree or it can be like a loop, circle. We saw all that. And it has all these different ways in which it binds one to the karma phala, makes one a karma phala addict. So really, the pursuit of this Atma Jnanam, people don't understand. And even if they little bit understand, they don't follow. Why? Because there is an addiction involved. If you tell somebody given to alcohol, what? You know what? This is bad for you. I think you should give it up. In all likelihood, the person will say, I know. I can give it up anytime. How do you say you can give it up anytime? I have already given it up 10 times. This is what the person will say. So, because there is an addiction, one is loath to change. The addiction makes it difficult to see past the immediate gratification of whatever that thing represents. In samsara also, the addiction to samsara, the addiction to infinitely keep on producing the finite, reproducing the finite, is in a similar way an addiction. So what does one have to do? One has to do an intervention. Verses 5, 6 and 7 are an intervention. What's an intervention? Where all the loved ones gather. And the person is surprised. Why are you all here? No, sit, we'll tell you. We've come here to tell you how much we love you and how wonderful you are. No, something is not right. No, really. And then each one writes a letter or talks about how difficult it is to watch this person undergo this addiction and how they have all collected some money for some program which will rehabilitate the person and bring them back to society. And in the intervention, each person will say, how is it that the person is destroying themselves? And how are they destroying their loved ones also? And then the person is not given a choice. Because if you give the person a choice, you know what? Take your time, think about it, and then let us know in a week. It will never happen. Why? Because the force of the addiction and the addictive personality is a different person. It's a completely different personality. That has taken over and eclipsed the person here. That one is trying to find where this person is. So, in the intervention, the solution should be right there. The car should be waiting outside. The reservation should already have been made. And the bags, before even the person comes, they have already to be packed and loaded in the car. And the person is escorted to the car and taken straight to the facility. Only then there is a chance of this intervention working. That is why even in the samsara intervention in the form of these teachings and these verses, that also cannot be really gentle. They have to, in unequivocal terms, talk about the pain of this addiction. And there is an urgency in all texts, including this one, for the person to right their ways and to drop the samsara addiction, precisely because it's not easy. That's why one has to just let that go. Because if one doesn't let it go now, then it will never happen. There is no tomorrow. And therefore it is said in the Bhashya for the Aitareya Upanishad, it is said, Yad aharam vrajet, tad aharam eva pravrajet. The day you feel like dropping samsara, do not wait. Drop samsara just that day. You can come. Drop samsara that day itself. Why that day? That minute itself. Because the Shruti knows, Shastra knows, if one is given an option and time, what will happen? The person will get re-addicted. And so, verses 5, 6 and 7, they make a pitch for Atmajnanam as a way out of samsara, because Atmajnanam is the only antidote. So we saw at length number 5, Ataha Brahmavidya Arabdha. Therefore, thereafter what? After gaining all these qualifications, after understanding the qualifications, then Tataha means after that what happens? Nishreyasam bhavet. So between Nishreyasa, what is Nishreyasa? An exotic flavor of ice cream. Yes? No. What is Nishreyasa? Moksha. So, between Nishreyasa and then Brahmavidya, what is the connection? What is the sambandha between Nishreyasa and Brahma Vidya. Cause-effect connection. One is the cause. Brahma Vidya is the cause for moksha. Direct cause for moksha, no other cause. So then, that is the connection. There is a cause-effect sambandha. So here it says that Brahma Vidya ataha arabdha. Tataha, therefore, thereafter the commencement of Brahma Vidya, then only one gains Kaivalya. Kaivalya is another name for moksha. Then only one gains moksha because this Brahma Vidya is the cause of moksha. So the knowledge of Brahman is responsible for liberation from ignorance. And the liberation from ignorance is alone called moksha. Moksha is not something you go and buy or get, or it is away from you and it has to be produced. It is already you. It has to be recognized. Through which body of knowledge it is recognized, that is called Brahma Vidya. Brahma Vidya ataha arabdha. And then that means it is not enough to be a mumukshu. Mumukshu is a generic seeker of freedom. It is a desiderative formation. Moktum ichchuhu, the desirer of freedom, mumukshu. But that is, who is a mumukshu? Everybody in the world is a mumukshu. You ask anybody, they'll say, I feel tied up, I feel bound. One says, I feel bound because I have no money. Other one says, I feel bound because I have too much money. And the third one says, I have money, but it's all tied up in stocks and bonds. Even that's called bonds. And so, this way, everything is always tied up. Each one is seeking freedom. And whatever, each one is running away from something. So the whole world, everybody in a way is a mumukshu, whether they know it or not, they are mumukshus. And that is not enough. What to do for freedom, and each one has their own idea. One says we need a thrilling sport in order to feel a thrill, like a roller coaster, and some other dangerous sports, mountain climbing, rock climbing, this, Rock climbing means last life, goat. That's all. Or getting ready to be a goat in the next life. Only two options. So all these scary sports, dangerous sports, that's hardly even dangerous when you look at some other kinds of sports. Many things are there. So, like this, all these things, they are all mumukshus. They are all choosing their freedoms. And when they choose their freedoms, what? Back to a sense of bondage. So, it's not enough to be a mumukshu. One has to have, it implies in the last line of the 5th verse, one has to make the connection between liberation, the inner liberation, from everything I do not want to the study of Brahma Vidya. That connection must be there. So such a mumukshu who has made this connection is now called what? Jignasu. Jnatum ichchu. Jnatum ichchu. The one who is not just a desirer or a seeker of freedom, because freedom means many things to different people. One person will say, I just need freedom from you, that's all, then I'm free. But that's not all. This is something which we have to understand. Freedom means many, many things. For one person, marriage signifies freedom. For the other person, freedom from marriage signifies freedom. How to define? So therefore, a subtle graduation is needed, a growth from recognizing oneself as a general seeker of liberation from something or the other to a specific seeker of liberation through knowledge. So from a generic seeker of liberation, I remint myself as a specific seeker of knowledge because I have seen the connection between liberation and the study of Brahma Vidya, because action has put me more and more in the hot water out of which I have to come. So from mumukshu, I grow into jignasu. Then only I understand the purport of these verses. So now the 6th and the 7th verse, they reiterate how Vidya alone removes ajnanam and why action or the results of action cannot remove ajnanam. Verse number 6. Vidya eva ajnana hanaya. The word hanam means destruction. Here also it has come in the 5th verse also. Ajnanam tasya moolam syat. Ajnana is the root of tasya. What is the kasya tasya? Is samsarasya, of samsara. Iti, therefore, tat hanam ishyate. Tat plus hanam, there is a sandhi, and it becomes tadhanam optionally. So there you won't recognize the word hanam because it's in a sandhi formation. Tadhanam ishyate. Tat hanam. What hanam? Samsarasya hanam. Or better still, ajnanasya hanam. Ajnanam being the mula, the root of samsara, it is desired that the ajnanam must be destroyed. So how to destroy ajnanam? The 5th verse says, therefore Brahma Vidya is begun. And that therefore means thereafter, therefore we saw all the meanings of that for a qualified student of Vedanta to gain moksha. And here it says, Vidya eva, knowledge of the self alone, ajnana hanaya. Vidya plus eva, ajnana hanaya. Ajnana hanaya, for the destruction of ignorance. What is needed? Vidya plus a little chocolate cake. Correct? No. Vidya eva. That eva means Vidya alone. Unadulterated, just self-knowledge. Self-knowledge is the antidote for self-ignorance. Self-knowledge itself, alone, unassisted, unaided, unadulterated by anything, is enough to remove self-ignorance. Vidya eva ajnana hanaya. So, Vidya eva ajnana hanaya. Na karma. Not karma. Not karma for what? We have to borrow this phrase again. Ajnana hanaya na karma. Karma is useless for the destruction of ajnanam. Why? I want karma to work. The reason is already given in the last word. Apratikulatah. Apratikulatah means the taha, the tasil pratyaya is all often used in the 5th case. So that becomes, and whatever is in the 5th case is the hetu, the cause. Karma does not work. Na karma. Karma does not work for what? Ajnana hanaya, for the destruction of ignorance, self-ignorance. Action is useless. Why? Apratikulatah. Apratikulatah means because it is unopposed to ignorance. Karma is not opposed to ignorance. If we suffer from self-ignorance, we have to bring the antidote, that which is opposed to self-ignorance. So why is not karma? That we'll see later, how jnanam is opposed to self-ignorance. But why is karma not opposed to self-ignorance? Go back to the family tree. Who is the matriarch? Avidya. Avidya has a son. What's his name? Kama. What is the grandson's name? Karma. They are hand in glove. The grandson will never give up the grandmother. The grandson will not be opposed to the grandmother. The grandson will try to protect the grandmother and the family tree. That's why it is not opposed. See, as soon as we trace, that's why we spent the time tracing the line, the lineage of ignorance, the so-called ajnana parampara, if we can call it that. So in this ajnana parampara, we see that ajnanam is the head, avidya, self-ignorance. And because of self-ignorance, there is all kinds of nonsensical desires. I think I'll go here. I think I'll do that. I think I want to do this. I think I want to achieve this. I want to go here. I want to do this. All these things. And as a result, there is no focus. There is just utter chaos and distraction. And the karma is a result of these desires. The desires are bahushakhaha anantaha cha buddhayaha avyavasayinam. Bhagavad Gita again in the 2nd chapter. Avyavasayin means the one who is unclear about needing to become a jignasu. Vyavasayatmika buddhihi. Vyavasayatmika buddhi, nishchayatmika buddhi. Decide to study this, Arjuna. Eka buddhi, not ping pong buddhi. One buddhi. Eka buddhi. He Kuru Nandana. You who are the delight of the Kuru clan, that's what you are called, literally become the delight by making the right choice. Why? Bahushakhaha, many branched are the non-choices. The array of non-choices are many branched. Like a tree has many branches, similarly, if you don't make the right choice, the choiceless choice, then all the things that you choose are what? Wrong choices. Bahushakhaha anantaha cha. You just thought Atma was Ananta. But this many choices and getting lost in the maze of choices is also one more Ananta. The buddhi is lost in this Ananta maze. Buddhayaha avyavasayinam. Okay, let it be lost. What is it to you? Yamimam pushpitam vacham pravadanti avipaschitaha vedavadaratav partha nanyadastiti vadinaha kamatmanas svargaparaha janma karma phalapradam kriya vishesha bahulam bhogaishvarya gatim prati bhogaishvarya prasaktanam taya apahrita chetasam vyavasayatmika buddhihi samadhau na vidhiyate. A big mouthful Lord Krishna has to say here. Bahushakha and Ananta it will become. Let it be means what? Because you can't say let it be. Because when there is no decision, especially a proper decision to get into the de-addiction program of samsara and expose oneself in a committed way, have a committed exposure to knowledge, then lots of things will beckon. Ehi, ehi, come here, come to me. And then one will become the prey of flowery talk. Not my words, Lord Krishna's words. Pushpitam vacham, flowery talk of charlatans who say, oh, you need vairagya? Come to me. Why should I come to you? No, just come to me. I'll tell you how I'll give you vairagya just now. Give me all your money. Vairagya is yours. Nothing is there. Done. Finish. These are unscrupulous charlatans who peddle their so-called spiritual wares. Air is free. Breathing takes place on its own. But then there is a charge to learn how to breathe. Breathe in the samsara. Or breathe, no, see, I can't even do this with a straight face. I did it all wrong. Breathe in the moksha. And then what? Breathe out the samsara. Seriously, so many things. Breathe in, moksha. See, you feel already free. And the person is generally, people are suggestible. If somebody comes to you and says, you look a little sick, you say, no, I'm fine. And 10 minutes later somebody says, hey, are you okay? You look a little sick. Then you have a doubt. Really? Oh, I think I'm fine. If by the time the third person comes and says that, you start to think that you have a fever. You must not be well. I think I should spend the rest of the day in bed. That's what one thinks. Generally people are not, very suggestible. So here too, all kinds of things. Stand on one leg, catch the toes. No, catch the nose. Catch the ears. We were catching the ears long before. Veda is everything. In South India you catch the ears like this. And now they found out that it has some acupressure points. In front of Ganesha you go like this, up and down. And then they found out that there are some acupressure points and something gets pressed and you have a better buddhi as a result. Tathastu, very nice. No problem with us. But nonetheless, catch this, catch that, go here, go there. All karma. Therefore, it is not really in connection to what is being talked about here. It's not an antidote to self-ignorance. Na apratikulataha. And then, what is the sum total? If you decant all these karmas, if you percolate them and decant them, what do you get? Lord Krishna says, Na anyadasti iti vadinaha. Vedavada rataha means they are very much steeped in the first portion of the Vedas that can grant instant fixes to problems, and people want instant gratification. I don't want pain. See, pleasure and pain goes back to Priya and Apriya. I'm having an Apriya moment. And then I want it ended right now. Here, chant this mantra, do this. Go here, go there. And people do that because of desperation. Instant fixes. And what do these people say? These people say, na anyadasti. This is the only way, each one says. And who are these people? Kamatmanaha. They are the embodiments of desire. And here they are going to take you out of the notion that you are a desiring, wanting person. No chance. Swargaparaha. They are headed towards heaven and want to drag you there also. Janma karma phala pradam, they just want, karma phala, etc. And they want only two things, bhoga, consumption, and then aishwarya. Bhoga and aishwarya. What is bhoga? Consumption. Pleasure, consumption. And what is aishwarya? Yeah, that is the yoga teacher. That's not. So, Aishwarya is overlordship. Aishwarya is overlordship. A certain adhipatyam, power is Aishwarya. Overlordship is Aishwarya. So this is what they want. They want power. They want to consume things. This is all they want. Bhoga, and they are hijacked by Bhoga and Aishwarya. They are dipped in the desire for Bhoga and Aishwarya. Bhogaishwarya prasaktanam taya apahrita chetasam, whose hearts are hijacked. Then neither are they able to do this. Find out for themselves what they are missing and where they need to go. Neither are they able to lead you. This is what Lord Krishna says. And that's exactly the point here. The growth from mumukshu to jignasu. Jignasu means the plan is set. I may do many things, but my destiny, my destination is moksha. Remember the airport example? Yes? Many people don't know the story here. Yeah. You go to the airport, you're going to the airport, you have a lot of time on your hands. And then you decide to, on the way to the airport, pick up some food to eat because they don't feed you on the planes anymore. While you go into a grocery shop, where are you headed? Airport. You don't forget that and start shopping for the whole week. You're just there to pick up something small to eat for lunch. Then you look at the time, you have still more time and you have to drop off some laundry. When you are dropping off the laundry, where are you headed? Airport. You never forget that. Then you find you still have some more time. Maybe you got a text message that the flight is delayed. So you call up your friend who lives near the airport. And then you go visit your friend near the airport. And the friend says, I'll drop you to the airport. Don't worry, you park your car here. You don't have to park it at the airport and pay so much fees. Throughout, you made 3 stops. Throughout each of the stops, where was your buddhi? Airport. Buddhi is airport paraha. Airport para buddhi. I have this much time, I need to go, I need to check in, I need to not miss the flight. That consciousness is very much there. I'm aware that I'm headed to the airport. Similarly, the person who is committed to moksha doesn't have to have a life where one is just studying 24/7, 365. You can do other things. But where are you headed? Don't say airport now, okay? Yeah. Where are you headed? Moksha. Moksha. You're headed to moksha. Wherever you are headed, that's where it is, moksha. You'll make many, many stops. Education, 1 stop. And then what? Job, another stop. Marriage, long stop. Children, another stop. But still you're headed to moksha. Yes, very good. This is the awareness. This is the orientation. This is how one proceeds. That awareness is there, that I am a jignasu. I want this knowledge and I am oriented to this knowledge, and every minute of my life, of every action, I use it for purifying the antahkarana, sweeping the raga dveshas away to make room for Bhagavan as myself. As long as the raga dveshas are there, then moksha is far away, because there is too much of oneself, too much of ahankara. So since people don't understand this, this has to be repeatedly underscored. And so here, karma is not pratikula to ajnanam. Why? Karma is related to ajnanam. That's why. They both belong to the same order of reality. And they both defend one another. Karma says, keep doing, keep doing. But I want happiness. Yes, it is through doing you will find the happiness. See, last time you did this and you were happy. Yeah, but I was only happy for 5 minutes. Doesn't matter, keep doing. Next time you may be happy for 10 minutes. Doesn't matter. Karma says, choose me, here, choose me. Not Atmajnanam, me. Deludes you, derails the pursuit. Because it is not opposed to ajnanam. And both of them, they have a codependent relationship. Ajnanam is furthered by karma, and karma in turn defends ajnanam. By convincing you that what you want is an instant fix from feeling the pain or feeling apriya. And so do what? So what should I do? Keep on unleashing more and more karmas to get more priya or pleasurable situations in your life. Become a pleasure seeker, an experience hunter. So much so that such a person comes to an ashram and there also one is hunting for spiritual experiences. I heard a noise in my meditation. What does that mean? Means you are hungry, that's all. Yeah. Kuru kuru kuru, the stomach. That's all it is. Nothing else. I saw some blue light. What does that mean? That means you shut your eyes really tightly. Try it even now. Shut your eyes really tightly, some flashing lights you will see. That's not Brahman. That's not moksha. Everybody sees it. It's a physiological condition of stifling the eyeballs. That's what happens. So all kinds of notions the karma produces, and then ajnanam continues to pat karma on the back. Each one scratches the other's back, and therefore it cannot help you to get out of the conundrum called samsara. How does jnanam take me out of samsara? We have to see what is the ajnanam. The nature of ajnanam, we have to spend a little bit of time to understand that. What is ajnanam? A plus jnanam. It's the negative particle nanj. Nanj pratyaya. A plus jnanam. Na jnanam ajnanam. But in Sanskrit, everything has a twist. There are 6 forms of negation. 6 kinds of negations. OMG. Sadrishyarthe. Sadrishyarthe means something is not like something. Like there is a water reed that grows, which looks like a sugar cane from far. But is it a sugar cane? No. It is anikshuhu, not sugar cane. This is based on sadrishya. Alparthe. Alparthe means the wonderful example is given in the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, where Lord Krishna is asked by Arjuna, Ayati shraddhayo petah yogachalita manasah. Ayatihi. Ayatihi means not the one who has not made effort, literally, but not made effort. Made effort, but it wasn't enough. I studied Vedanta in this life, but it is not enough. What will happen to me after I drop this body? Will all the retreats I attended go in vain? Arjuna wants to know. And he is assured, no, it will not go in vain. You will get an appropriate body, mind, sense complex, and you will have the memory of picking up the thread in the last life, and you will pick up the thread in this life as well. So it's not that he has not made effort. He has made effort, but it is not enough. Alavanam bhojanam. What is it? You didn't put salt in the food today? No, I put salt, but it's not enough. Alparthe. Abhavarthe, in the sense of absence. There is the absence of mango in my hand. Absence. Abhavarthe, alparthe, virodharthe. Opposite. Like light and darkness. Wherever there is light, there cannot be darkness. This is illustrated through a very, a very South Indian specific story in his time that Swamiji used to tell. Pujya Swamiji used to tell this wonderful story. There was a marriage in a village. In those days, no electricity at all in the villages. There was a marriage in the village, and the boys' family, extended family, etc., had all come, and they were all housed in various places on this very rich man's estate. And this man, who is the father of the bride, wanted to make sure the guests are all right. And they have enough light, they have enough food, they have enough water. So he sent the trusted fellow, one domestic help, with a kerosene lamp on his head. His name was Muppan. Muppan, please go. Go to the other side and see. Wherever there is anything dark, put the lights there and come. I have put 4 more here, take one by one and go. Muppan said, oh, I am strong. I can take 1 on my head and 2 in each of my arms and I'll go. Then he looked everywhere and came back with all the 3 lamps. Hey, what happened? I told you to find a dark place and put this lamp. Master, there was no dark place at all. I looked here, it was all light. I looked there was all light. Wherever I looked, there was light. He came back. This is exactly how it is. That is how light and darkness are opposed to each other in the same way. Knowledge and ajnanam are opposed to each other. And that ajnanam, the word ajnanam cannot be taken as absence of knowledge. Because there are some technical dangers lurking there if we translate it as absence of knowledge. So absence of knowledge is equal to ajnanam. Then before that, what was there? Jnanam. So this jnanam turned into ajnanam. Who will come to study Vedanta? Because what is to say that the jnanam I will get will also turn into what? Ajnanam later date. We don't accept that. So ajnanam doesn't have a beginning. We can't say it has a beginning. Thankfully, it has an end. Definitely it has an end. And so the in the ajnanam is virodharthe, negative particle. In the oppositional sense. Opposition means the two cannot occupy the same place at the same time. It's either like darkness and light cannot occupy the same place at the same time. There is another story in the Puranas. Surya, we say, is going on a chariot from east to west with 7 rainbow-colored horses. And Narada says, can I come for the ride? I just want to be with you. Oh Narada, please come, have a seat. And then he says, how are things over at earth? Do people love me still? Oh yes, everybody all over the world love you. In fact, Surya Namaskara has just traveled all over the world. Everybody does Namaskara to you. There are so many yoga classes that teach how to do Namaskara to you. Oh really? This is very, very, very gratifying. Thank you, thank you, Narada. Narada is there's a little bit of mischief, He's naughty. And so what does he say? He says, yeah, but what? It doesn't matter. Let me not spoil your bad mood, your good mood. No, I want to know what, but what? You're hesitating. Well, there is one person who doesn't see you at all. Who is that? Miss Knight. Oh, she sounds like a mysterious lady. Where is she? She is in America right now. Okay, here we go. Makes the horses go very fast. And then just like Muppan with a lamp on his head. Where is Miss Knight? Oh, she just left for India. And that's why the Surya keeps moving. It's a story you tell children. They don't see each other. They cannot be there in the same place and the same time, just like darkness and light cannot cohabit. Similarly, Jnanam and Ajnanam cannot cohabit. Ajnanam is spirited away by Jnanam. And what is this Ajnanam? I take myself to be what I am not. Atmani anatma adhyasaha. Two kinds of mistakes. I'll explain what they are. And the second one, anatmani atma adhyasaha. I take myself to be what I am not, and then what I am, I do not own up. So in the Atma, Anatma is projected. In the Atma that is free of mortality, what do I consider? I am mortal. I am subject to disease. I am subject to death. I am idiotic, etc. Then Anatmani, in the Anatma, which is all the objects in the universe, I project infinitude. This is forever. Nothing is forever. You alone are forever. Nothing other than you is forever. But I search for the forever where? In Anatma. And I project the forever onto the Anatma repeatedly. These are the two mistakes that Atma Ajnanam removes. Atma Jnanam, removes. And this is what is going to be said. Because karma is not opposed to Ajnanam. And so karma is hand in hand with Ajnanam. So therefore he says, Ajnanasya prahanehi, it's a double negative, so na ajnanasya prahanehi, and that na should come here, na ragagdvesha kshayaha bhavet. So let us remove the double negatives and look at it. Ajnanasya prahanehi, prahana means destruction. Ajnanasya prahanehi ragadvesha kshayaha bhavet. The reduction of raga and dvesha take place only in the wake of the destruction of what? Ajnanam. So the destruction of Ajnanam and the decimation of raga and dvesha are connected. There is a cause-effect relationship between the two. The destruction of Ajnanam leads to the destruction of ragadvesha. Why? Because Ajnanam is the cause of ragadvesha. How do we know? Verse number 4 or 5, whatever that was. Ajnanam tasya moolam syat. It is the moola of samsara. Samsara is having many, many moving parts, including ragadvesha. So, therefore, there is a connection here. Vidya eva ajnanahanaya na karma apratikulatah. Karma cannot destroy ajnanam because it is not opposed to ajnanam, it is in cahoots with ajnanam. Then, until and unless the ajnana is destroyed, ragadvesha also cannot be destroyed. Supposing somebody were to say, let the ragadvesha not be destroyed. My ragadveshas are not bothering me. They may be bothering you, but I don't care about that. My raga and my dvesha, they are mine. Who are you to say that I have to get away from the ragadveshas? Who are you to say? They are not bothering me. In fact, I can afford to have a few more ragadveshas. Bring it on. I can afford to have many more ragadveshas. Who are you to tell me? Because I'm not bothered. If I rave and rant and jump up and down, and if I am frustrated, what is it to you? I'm bothered for a little time maybe, or some days I'm bothered, but generally I'm okay. Let me have ragadveshas. To them, if some people are foolish enough to say that, to them, Adi Shankara says, ragadvesha kshaya abhave. In the absence of the destruction of ragadvesha, karma dosha udbhavam dhruvam. Karma acts out. Action and results of action get into a tango and create a lot of mischief. Dhruvam, for certain. Not that, oh, maybe karma will act out. No, karma will act out. When the ragadveshas are not managed, are not tethered, are not suspended, then what happens? Karma acts out. Meaning, when I let the ragadveshas loose, what happens? I feel like ragadvesha is basically desires. When the desires, positive and negative, desires for something, desires to not have something, all of them are called ragadveshas. When I let loose the ragadveshas, then what happens? Then I can't sit quietly. The hands and legs start to have an itch. I have to go get something, I have to do something. I have to make sure you don't get it. I have to get it before you go get it. All these things happen. And when I don't get it, worry, anxiety, fear, resentment, anger, everything comes. And then of course, everything ends in sorrow. I have a meltdown. I love English language, very nice. Meltdown, exactly that's what it is. The person has a total meltdown because of this. So this is what is explained. Ragadvesha kshaya abhave karma dosha udbhavam dhruvam. So the actions which are caused by ragadvesha, which are the dosha means what? Karma dosha, dosha. The dosha of the karma is what? Various kinds of karma phala that you cannot control, that you hadn't planned for. You thought it will go a certain way. Like even think of a small conversation. You thought you will have a conversation with somebody and it will go in a certain way. What happens? Opposite. And some people are very difficult to talk to. Hello, how are you? Why? What's wrong with me? No, I'm simply asking how you are. You must be meaning something. No, I'm not meaning anything at all. Now you're getting defensive. Yeah. No, I'm not defensive. See, you are defensive. Where did the conversation go? It unraveled even before it started. Simple things. You can't even with some people say something as innocuous as, you know what, the sky is blue, without getting into trouble. So, this is how the life goes. Because when you talk about karma, you cannot control the results of karma. This we know again from the Bhagavad Gita, the famous verse, what is it? Chop, chop. Karmanyevadhikaraste na ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phalaheturbhuhu ma te sangostva karmani. You have a say over action, but you are not in charge of producing the results of action. This is why you and action don't get along, because you think you are the karta. But if you are the karta, you should be producing the results of action, but you don't. You can't even have a simple conversation and make it go the way you want. That shows you are not in charge of karma phala. And then, if the karma is powered by raga and dvesha, what happens is the karma phala is also powered by raga and dvesha. The karma phala is also, what is that, it makes one further have raga and dvesha because of the non-acceptance of what phala comes. Whatever comes, do I accept it? No. I don't want to accept it. I want to put that away because it is apriya. Then again I go in search of what? Priya. When I go in search of priya, I unleash a few actions, and then what happens to the result of action? Apriya. Repeated apriya. And so, therefore, the karma dosha means being able to control the results of action, and then the karma becomes vitiated with things which I consider apriya. Then I have to write those. How to write those? Unleash more actions and thereby get caught in this web. So this is what he says. Tasmat, therefore, nishreyasarthaya, for the sake of moksha, vidya eva atra vidhiyate. Vidya alone is prescribed. And it is the second time he has used vidyaiva. So here in 1.7 he uses vidyaiva, and then at the beginning of 1.6 also vidya eva. That evakara means underscoring. Vidya alone frees me from samsara, frees me from priya apriya, addiction to priya, and then frees me from the papa punya. Frees me from all kinds of karma, frees me from karma phala. And so, therefore, vidya alone is vidhiyate, is enjoined, must be followed. Now comes the Purva Pakshi. Who is Purva Pakshi? The person who disagrees with all the 7 verses, 7 or 8, 7 verses studied so far. The person who says, what rubbish, what rot you're talking. And let me give you some examples and show you the error of your ways. What is your vision? What is your claim? You say vidya alone is enough for the destruction of samsara. My dear sir, this is not okay. Oh, why not? Because it is like saying heat alone is enough to cook rice. Is that true? Yes, it is true. Heat is enough. But heat alone is not enough. You need sahakari. What? You need water. Where are you going to put the water? In a pot. So it is true that heat is the one that is doing the cooking. The pot is not doing the cooking. The water is not doing the cooking. Heat is needed, yes, but along with that we need a little bit of a little bit of water, and then the water, we need a container for the water and the rice. So we need what? Pot, water become sahakaris, helpers. Similarly, you see where this person is headed. Jnanad kaivalyam, fine. If moksha is gained through knowledge, we don't have a problem with that. But a little bit of karma along with that. This is how deep the addiction is. Even scholars, Purva Mimamsakas, Nayayikas, Karmathas, all these people, you can't leave the karma. The karma has become very addictive. Vaidika karma, Laukika karma, they are very, very addictive. And so one cannot give them up. And that is why it is good to study these objections and to see how to weave our way out of this maze. More we'll see tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.